Good Saturday morning. Welcome to the Saturday Sports Page. I'm your host, Tom Schmitz. T-minus 1 day since the news broke that Treon Harris has been reinstated both for campus activities and football activities at the University of Florida as his accuser has dropped her complaint of rape, of sexual assault. We thought this would probably be the outcome when we heard statements made by his lawyer, when the lawyer, Huntley Johnson, laid out exactly how they had given text message over to the police, how the text messages described the aggressor as the female complainant in this story. But the University of Florida acted exactly how they should have acted. Some people are saying she accused him and then she dropped the accusation, and yet he's had to be suspended for this whole week. Yep. And you have to do it that way. You have to err on the side of the accuser here. Notice I'm not saying victim, I'm saying accuser. Because there is no victim. But you have to err on the side of the accuser when the accusations are made. And the University of Florida did the very correct thing in suspending Treon Harris for 5 days. He's now been reinstated back to full status on the university. He can go back to class. See, this young man had been denied being able to go on campus to go to class all week. He can now continue to do that. He can now go back and start football activities. Although Will Muschamp says he is reinstated with the team, he will not play today against LSU. Kid wasn't there for practice, wasn't able to participate, didn't take any of the snaps. I don't believe you can put him in for LSU. It's been quite the crazy week for the University of Florida. These accusations broke Sunday, and now the accuser on Friday decides, yeah, not so much. Now the questions are being asked, and I don't know if they're rightly asked or not, but people are asking them. The first thing out of somebody's mouth yesterday when they heard this, they texted me, said, how much money did Florida pay her? That's just a terrible way that we think in this society that things happen. First thing out of somebody's mouth when they found out Treon Harris had been reinstated was how much did the accuser get paid to go away? Just as that's what is being insinuated was offered to the accuser against Jameis Winston, Florida State a couple years ago, was she got offered money to go away. How about she just didn't want to continue with this charade, or they're calling a charade, they're referring to that way is that she was the aggressor and everything, and there was no sexual assault. How about she just didn't want to continue with that story? How about her conscience got her, and maybe she didn't want to continue that way? It is a possibility. I have to recognize it is a possibility she could have got paid. I don't know. You don't know. What we do know is the facts that the accuser of Treon Harris decided not to pursue criminal charges. The investigation has been dropped, and Treon Harris has been put back on the University of Florida football team and has been able to resume activities at the University of Florida, going to class, being on campus, stuff of that nature. Talk more about that later. Buddy Martin will join the show at 10:15. But right now, let's give you a rundown on the prep scores last night. As the Colts blow out the Denellen Tigers last night. 43-0 in a District 5A5 football game that had the 3-0 in the district Denellen Tigers, 5-1 overall in the year. Coming into North Marion, North Marion had lost earlier this year to Swanee, so they had one loss in the district. Thought it was going to be a heavyweight battle. It was a 43-0 beatdown. I'm using Andy Mark's quote. I'm quoting Andy Mark's story, the staff writer at the Ocala Star-Banner. Andy Mark said it was a 43-0 beatdown on the visiting Tigers in a pivotal District 5A5 clash. Stephen Fields said his players worked extremely hard. We feel that we're like a couple plays from being undefeated, and those losses helped us regroup and become better and come closer. North Marion has lost to Bowles and to Swanee this year. It was the Freddie Swain show last night, although James Allen wasn't bad either. Allen, a running back, threw for a touchdown, rushed for another, while Swain, a receiver, scored on a long catch. That's the one Allen threw. Plus, he ran a fake punt all the way in for a touchdown, and he had a punt return for a touchdown. No matter where we're at, we can make a big play, Freddie Swain said. We're athletes. Swain, 6'1", 175-pound junior, with a long list of offers that include Alabama and Florida, by the way. James Allen already committed to Louisville. This North Marion team last night was suffocating. The offense was clicking on all cylinders. The defense was suffocating. Tom James and I were on the call for the Marion County Friday Night High School Game of the Week, brought to you by the McDonald Allstate Agency. And Tom James and I said, what can this group not do? And the only thing we come up with, they can't kick the ball. They have no kicker. They just don't have any kicking game whatsoever. And that will hurt North Marion in the playoffs, I believe. Coach Stephen Fields will join us at 10:30. We'll talk to him about North Marion, how their season's progressing so far, and we'll address the lack of a kicking game that North Marion has. But last night, North Marion, huge win over Nellen, blowing them out. They ran up, the offense rolled up 459 yards on a team that was the best defensive team in the county that had 15 takeaways coming into the game. Denellen had no takeaways last night, and North Marion took away their will to play. This game had 2 weeks ago, North Marion was playing Crystal River. That game went to a running clock. North Marion was beating Crystal River so bad, it went to a running clock. Last week, North Marion was playing Crystal River and went to a running clock. Last week, Denellen was playing Bellevue. Denellen beating Bellevue so bad that it went to a running clock. So you have two teams that were winning their games so big last week that they had running clocks. This game, we started with a running clock at 6 minutes and 27 seconds to go in the third quarter. Literally, because the rules say a running clock after you go down 35 points. Literally, that 6 minutes and 27 seconds in the third quarter and the 12 minutes in the fourth quarter took exactly that, about 19 minutes. We went from the first 2 quarters and a half of a third quarter taking an hour and 50 minutes to a half of a quarter and another full quarter taking 19 minutes. Denellen last week rushed for, they were like 392 yards, just shy of 400 last week over Bellevue. Minus 30 against the Colts. Think about that. Minus 30. Wow. We'll talk to Stephen Fields about his complete victory over the Denellen Tigers at 10:30. Let me give you the complete rundown before we go to break. Though Trinity Catholic invited Tampa Jesuit in. Trinity Catholic dominated the Jesuit 28-7. The Jesuit didn't even score until the fourth quarter. Lake Weir pulled out a squeaker over Eustis. Eustis stormed back in the fourth quarter with 13 unanswered points, but still couldn't pull out the victory. Lake Weir wins 21-7. Bellevue swamped by Swanee last night, 45-0. Forest travels to Leesburg and thumps Leesburg, Skip Austin and his crew at Forest High School wins 45-17 at Leesburg. Ocala Christian just gets manhandled by First Academy 53-6, and All Saints Academy just manhandles St. John's 46-10. That's your rundown of your high school scoreboard. Coming up next, Buddy Martin joins us. He's got the rundown on Treon Harris, and also Jameis Winston back in the news. Looks like he's going to face charges by the school. We'll talk to Buddy Martin about all of that coming up next on the Saturday Sports Page, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local on The Source.
Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is a place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs, proud sponsor of Friday night Marion County High School football on WOCA, The Source.
Being the Culligan man is not easy because he works hard every day for you here in North Central Florida. Whether you need bottled water delivery for your office, a home water softener, or water infiltration system, the Culligan man can help you. At Culligan, North Florida, we have dozens of softener and filtration options, along with a host of media tank sizes. Depending on the exact hardness and usage of your water, we determine the size of softener you're going to need. And if you're on city or well water in one of our local areas, the in-home water analysis is absolutely free. If your needs are for the home, call Ocala Water Conditioning, 352-291-5900. For home or business bottled water in Ocala, call Ocala Bottled Water, 352-291-5900. Culligan of North Florida, a proud sponsor of Florida State football, heard right here on WOCA, The Source.
Eye Care Center of Ocala is centered on patient satisfaction. Our friendly doctors and staff are here to serve all of your family's eye care needs under one roof. Our optometric physicians take great pride in offering every patient the absolute best in vision care, utilizing state-of-the-art technology. We're located about 2 miles west of I-75 on State Road 200. You can schedule an appointment for the Eye Care Center by going to www.eyecarecenterofocala.com, or you can call us at 352-512-0560.
Here in Florida, when you're looking to go to the beach, you've got hundreds of options. Theme parks, no shortage of options there either. But when it comes to home insurance, most companies have only one option. Allstate is different. Here in Florida, Allstate agents offer home insurance options from several companies, so they can help you get the coverage that's right for you. And they'll help you save on quality car insurance, too. For starters, safe drivers save 45% with Allstate. So before you settle for just one option, talk to someone with many home and car insurance options. Your local Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Hi, this is Kevin McDonald, your local Allstate agent. To get your quote, please call us at 622-2333 or stop by one of our 2 Ocala locations.
Allstate has no financial responsibility to you for any home insurance policy you purchase and would not be responsible for any claims. Allstate does not make any representations or accept liability related to operations of home insurance companies, including but not limited to their financial conditions. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Page. I'm Tom Schmitz. Let's go right out to the phone lines. On assignment somewhere on this, in the continent of the United States, we now join Buddy Martin. Buddy, you're on assignment this weekend, correct?
Well, somebody's going to be fishing up in Alaska with Mark Emery. Why not me?
I saw some pictures of Mark Emery yesterday. He posted on Facebook. Mark Emery, I told our new intern, Johnny Walker, I said, look at Mark Emery's pictures here. This is why he's the most interesting man in the world. He was in waist-deep water hugging an alligator.
And by the way, his name really is Johnny Walker, just so you know, we're not kidding. It's not Jim Beam. It's not Jag Nails. It's Johnny Walker. He's a young man, a new intern from Vanguard. And so if you're referring to it, it's a real person. And by the way, Ashley Peters last night came in to do the high school football game for us. Said Johnny Walker is going to be outstanding. Well, we know that. So let's don't spoil it. He's only been on one day.
Well, I know. I'm not going to spoil him. Ashley said that.
Yeah, no, I think she's right. So,
Buddy,
if we don't mess it, we might mess him up. Other than that,
we may. Buddy, let's get right into it. Treon Harris reinstated by the university and the UAA. Talk about first the university reinstating. That to me is a more important reinstatement than the University Athletic Association. This means the young man can go back on campus and go to class.
well, let's kind of look at the timeline. Yeah, because this all came about on Sunday when he got back from Tennessee. Well, actually, he got back Saturday night from Tennessee, and this event happened Saturday night, and then and 24 hours later, he was suspended, which sounds like it's a little bit of leapfrogging, as I said on the Big Skin, the due process. But I think you do what you got to do, and you move swiftly, and Florida did that, and we all know that that was the proper thing to do. But quite frankly, none of us thought he'd be back on the field as soon as the word was getting back on. It would take 3 or 4 weeks for forensics and all this stuff. But bottom line is that when Huntley Johnson, and by the way, I just want to say, not patting myself on the back, but I wrote Tuesday, I felt like, according to my sources, he would not be charged, and that he was going to, I don't want to say beat the rap, but he was not going to be guilty of this, and that he would be back on the field at some point, but not even I thought he'd be back as soon. So then the next thing that happens is Huntley Johnson, he releases that long statement, and which was pretty tough, and then the pressure goes on the victim to come up with some evidence, and then for whatever reason she decides to withdraw and not charge, and then the university has no choice but to say unsuspend him, and now he comes back to the team, and now Will Muschamp says, well, he won't play. All right, that's the sequence of events, right? Is that about right?
That is the sequence of events.
Okay, now, last week, if you go back, remember the statement that was made by the football team and Will Muschamp that Jeff Driscoll was the quarterback, and there were no plans to use Treon Harris last week, correct?
Correct.
That's what they said, right? So, now, of course, we know what happened. He was the hero of the game. He gets in and pulls it out. So this week they're saying, well, he won't play. What do you think is going to happen, Tom?
I think if Jeff Driscoll stumbles, Treon Harris is in the football game.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm a football player. I know a lot about this game. Unless Treon Harris is deemed, unless he was not active on the active roster, which he is on the active roster, that's the only way he's not playing if Jeff Driscoll struggles.
Well, I think that, and you think that, and I talked to somebody close to the University of Florida last night who thinks that, and I talked to an SEC coach last night, and he thinks that. So imagine, if you will, tonight, about 9:30 when they're in the third quarter, and Driscoll stumbles and can't move the ball, or God forbid he get hurt. And by the way, I am rooting for Jeff Driscoll. I want him to have a big game because he's a good kid, but he hasn't gotten it done. And so imagine what happens when Treon Harris comes to the field. You think that crowd might go crazy?
Buddy, you said late, about 9:15 on tonight when it's in the third quarter. I'm thinking if it's the third, if there's 2 3 and outs and Jeff Driscoll can't move the Gators in the first quarter,
you may be right.
You may see a change.
Be right. He doesn't have the package for LSU, but look, let's be honest about it. It's not rocket science to run a couple of football players.
It's not rocket. He knows the plays. He just may not know the package. And I promise you, knowing the game of football, I promise you, Treon Harris was burning the midnight oil last night reading packages.
Well, I would go beyond that. I would imagine they began to feel which way the wind was blowing. We're getting packages to them Thursday night.
Right.
Well, say, hey, look at your playbook,
Exactly. So now let's talk about another Florida quarterback, Florida State quarterback. This time, same state, different school, Florida State University. It looks like Jameis Winston, according to what I'm reading on Yahoo Sports, Florida State star quarterback Jameis Winston will face a disciplinary hearing that will determine whether he violated FSU's code of conduct in relation to an alleged sexual assault in 2012. Now, why is this significant?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's legalese. What you just said there, think of all the terms that you said. There was sort of euphemisms, one thing or the other. And the bottom line is they're not satisfied that this thing got handled right. And by the way, a word to the folks at ESPN, when you put your T's on the bottom of the screen and you get to the top of the hour and you say, more trouble ahead in Florida, remember there's Florida and there's Florida State. They were meant at Florida State. It said in Florida. When you say in Florida, what do you think Gator fans thought?
Right.
So please remember when you say trouble in Florida, just say in Tallahassee because very upsetting to Gator fans to see things like that. So, yeah, I mean, this story I read early this morning, a long story on the New York Times. They went after this thing. I mean, it is an epic story with every detailed incident of anybody who got in trouble or had any incidents with the police, football players. There's nothing new on Jameis Winston, but there's a lot of other names, Dalvin Cook and the kid Bobo Wilson and that bunch. There's a lot of BB gun stuff going on. I thought that was an isolated incident. There are countless cases of BB gun incidents where things got damaged, and the cops never followed it up. They went out and said, well, it looked like he was doing anything wrong to me, so we let him go and gave him his gun back. But, I mean, it's almost like there's a rash of this kind of stuff going on. But put one incident by itself, not a big deal. But when the New York Times puts them all together, it kind of smacks of Barney Fife, in Tallahassee. And as you said, a friend of yours told you last week when they said, if you want to make sure Treon Harris gets off early, let the Tallahassee cops investigate it, right?
Yeah. When the Treon Harris story broke, a friend of mine who is a Florida State fan said, well, all you got to do if you want your guy to get off is call Tallahassee and tell them to handle the investigation.
And that's the first thing I thought of when I read that story, because it's a long story, and it looks like if you assemble all these facts together of things that happened, they're basically doing what coaches have done for centuries before now, and then topped off by the fact that Barry Switzer comes out. Did you read that story today? Saying, oh, yeah, that's how we handled it in Oklahoma. We had a friend in the sheriff's office. We made sure that didn't get in the news. So this is how business used to be done. It's a new day. It's a new day. You can't do business like that anymore. And I think there may be repercussions, as you said, when you read that information about what's going to happen, the code of conduct. You can be suspended indefinitely from a school. And if you've got enough to go there, it could be possibly, depending on the timing, once again, like somebody said today, Todd Worley will be unsuspended the week before this Florida-Georgia game. But it depends on the timing. I mean, it could be costly to Florida State in the ACC championship game. More importantly, if they get to the playoffs, it could be a killer.
Yeah, what this says is Jameis Winston could be charged with one of 4 violations of the Florida State University Student Conduct Code. The school student conduct policies now says that Winston has 5 days to schedule information hearing. In that hearing, he'll be presented with his rights and learn more about the forthcoming conduct hearing, which, according to ESPN.com, would be held as soon as possible after the information hearing. The conduct hearing will determine whether or not Winston is actually charged, and 3 individuals independent of the university have been selected by the school to hear the case,
right.
And Winston and his accuser will both get to strike one,
right.
Leaving a third party to hear the case. And so this will be heard by somebody that has no ties to the Florida State University.
Yeah, I think the key phrase that what you said there was as soon as possible. Geez, December the 15th worked for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the key right there, as soon as possible. So they're going to try to get it as close as they can to after the regular season and the ACC championship game. So we're in. Then I hope take a chance he won't be found guilty or anything. They're going after, thanks to the New York Times pressure, they're going after now Jameis Winston at Florida State University. It's out.
Well, going with the third party, buddy, that's a highly unusual process, I think. But
it is.
It says that the university realizes they're maybe complicit in this cover-up, and they need to wash their hands and say, look, we had nothing to do with this decision.
Exactly. And i.e., we may have screwed up. We have to make sure that this is something that right now is a hot topic everywhere. Yeah. That's why Florida does come off looking good.
Well,
this whole thing, they did it the right way. They're willing to sacrifice the game if they had to, if that's what it took. They made the decision. They went with it. They didn't waste any time. It turns out the kid's going to be okay, and whatever it was he was supposed to be charged with, he's not going to be charged with. So, and it looks like it's all clean. Now, anybody says, well, you'll have to pay off the cops. No, they didn't. I can assure you Bernie Manchin had his personal hand on this one to make sure there was no hanky-panky in this dealings. It would be aired out. So anyway, by the way, the woman still has quote unquote opportunities if she wants in the future to
she can come back and refile charges. She just decided to drop charges now. It doesn't say she can't come later.
Looking at what we hear the evidence is, why would she?
Right. Well, and speaking of Florida State, the reason Florida State's washing its hands now is they're under this Title IX investigation too because of this incident.
I know.
Well, let's talk about while we're talking about suspended players, let's talk about Todd Gurley. Huge guy who you and I had said on Southern Pigskin tonight was going to be the difference in the Missouri game, and then I had to go retract that yesterday on the replay of Southern Pigskin tonight.
The news changes, doesn't it? 24 hours.
Todd Gurley suspended indefinitely for what looks like is a NCAA violation. Is being reported as an NCAA violation for signing numerous memorabilia and getting paid to do so. And supposedly there's video of this and everything. And this goes back to that one question, buddy. Billions of dollars are being made on these kids' backs, and we're going to suspend this kid indefinitely and brand him a cheater, basically, for $400, it looks like.
Well, here's the deal. Talking to people last night, it's a lot more than $400, okay? It's a lot more than $400. That's what they can prove. And here's the other thing. The guy who turned him in, this is how it was told to me last night by somebody, is that these scumbags who were autograph collectors and memorabilia people, there's some good ones, but a lot of them are scumbags. One of the guys went after Todd Gurley, who, by the way, was already signing stuff, apparently. And by the way, everybody signs stuff.
Everybody does it.
It's not just this is everywhere. People find ways to profit from it. But here's the deal, is that the guy made a deal with Gurley to sign for a certain amount of money. Another guy came along and offered him more, and Gurley took it, and guess who turned him in?
The guy that got left out in the cold.
There you go. That's the guy who turned him in. So it's a dirty business. Now to the other thing you said, talking about the whole problem, the system being broken. And Tom, and we don't have enough time to talk about that. Let me just give you one incident real quick that tells a story about it's an unfair system. An SEC player who eats at the train table, this happened this year, lost his card. He couldn't eat at the train table without it, except that he knew the people in the cafeteria, and they fed him anyway. But he was counted as absent, because if you don't use your card, that's how they keep track of you. You have to be there at the table 9 times during the week, okay? Well, all he had to do was come and buy another card for $30. Guess what?
He didn't have the $30.
He didn't have $30. And so, consequently, he suffered the consequences. And so, it's an unjust system. You know, it's not all the same. I mean, there's kids who can't afford to go home in the holidays or spring break, who have to stay there and live in the dorms because they can't afford a bus ticket to go home.
I know. I saw it every year.
And the backs of kids like this, they're making billions of dollars. They can't accommodate kids to buy a $30 meal card if they lose it. I mean, come on, man. That's awful.
I saw it back when I played. It was a $10 meal card, and I remember vividly Chris Wright losing his meal card and couldn't afford the $10, and I gave him $10 because he lived in the dorm room across the hall from me. I gave him the $10 to get a meal card, or he'd have been in the same position because he just didn't have the money. And Chris Wright, same kid, I played football there. He was right across from me in the dorm for 2 years. Never once, buddy, except at the end of the school year, when school was over, would he go home for the holidays? Nothing. He went home at summer because his parents would have saved enough money then where they could come from Atlanta and pick him up in the car and take him home and then bring him back. Other than that, he was at Georgia Southern or living on somebody's couch when the dorms closed, because the dorms closed for Christmas holidays and everything. He would have to go live on friends' couches while the dorms were closed during the holidays because he didn't have the money to get to Atlanta.
Right, and you said it right there. This is how they get around it, according to my sources, and you know this, and I know it, because when I played baseball in Florida, I was around a lot of football players on scholarship. I didn't get one, but, I mean, I knew how it worked, and the bottom line is it's legal for players to loan other players money.
It is. It's perfectly legal for that to happen, but, boy, it gets to sometimes where if you're – and it's not really loaning money, buddy, because you don't expect it back. If you expect it back, then you're going to have problems.
Of course. When you're a kid in college, somebody borrows it, and you expect never to see it back.
Right, and that's what had to happen. Players had to pay for players. The players that parents were better off, or kids that were better situated with their parents and all, would take care of the players that weren't better situated because that's just what the rules say you have to do.
Exactly.
Makes no sense. Well, buddy, let's get back to your assignment there. You're socked in for football today.
I am.
Got some amazing games going on today.
Oh, man.
You got Georgia, Missouri now with the way that's changed. Here's a game where I'm only going to give you one game that's out that shocks me.
All right. Yeah.
The Red River Shootout's just a useless football game, isn't it?
I knew you were going to say that. I was going to say the same thing. We almost forgot they're playing, right?
The Red River Shootout's a useless football game. When is the University? Charlie Strong, I think, will bring that program back and make the Red River Shootout a game of prominence again. But it's a useless football game right now.
It used to be Joe Williams' favorite game of the year, because he's an old Texan. So, no, that's right. It's meaningless. And you know what? And let's just be honest about it. Florida LSU is not exactly what you call the headliners.
No, Florida LSU is not a headliner. It used to be. Let's real quick, marquee game of the day, number 2 versus number 3, Auburn versus Mississippi State. Yeah. This is a statement game for Dan Mullen if he can win this football game.
And then Dak Prescott, who, by the way, is the leading candidate for the Heisman now. I'm a believer by Dak Prescott last week, Mullen and his team. I just really like this Auburn team. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to have a caveat. I'm going to pick Auburn, but the difference is going to be a turnover. One turnover will determine this game. Who gets that will make the difference. So I'm going with Auburn right now.
All right, now LSU, Florida, who you got? Real quick before we go.
I like Florida. Now, I think the inspiration factor is going to be there now that Treon Harris is there. I think Driscoll, if he's ever going to play down at Florida, has got to show up big. I like Florida, and the LSU is I don't think is a real dominant team, so this is a chance for the Gators to get, hey, look, all of a sudden they'd be, 4-1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would be.
There you go.
All right, Buddy Martin, back on assignment. Thanks so much. We'll see you Monday.
All right, Tom. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend, Tom.
Buddy Martin of the Buddy Martin sports page and the Voice of Ocala. When we come back, Coach Stephen Fields of the North Marion Colts join us right here on the Saturday sports page, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local on The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz.
Hi, I'm State Farm agent Angie Lewis. Come see me and my team for all your insurance and financial needs in the beautiful downtown historic district, 416 East Fort King Street, or call 291-2444.
Nestled in the heart of horse country, just off I-75 exit 354, the award-winning and newly refreshed Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala invites you to pamper yourself in one of our comfy guest rooms. Enjoy our free and fast Wi-Fi, heated outdoor swimming pool, 24-hour fitness center, and our deluxe continental breakfast. Other on-site amenities include a restaurant, putt-putt golf, and a car wash. Go happy, go Hojo at the Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala, proud sponsor of Friday Night High School football on WOCA, The Source. The next drink is on Dave Del Rio at Eaton's Beach Sandbar & Grill. Just ask him for it. But don't wait. Show up soon because this offer isn't going to last very long. Eaton's Beach Sandbar & Grill will be filling up fast because their friends from the north are headed back that way soon. The good news is that seating is now available and Dave's buying the first drink. If you've been hearing about the crowd at Eaton's Beach Sandbar & Grill and couldn't get in, now you can see firsthand what your friends have been talking about. Great food. Try Chef Dave's tantalizing Floresiana menu. Great location. Check out those gorgeous sunsets over Lake Weir. Great people. Starting with Chef Dave Del Rio, who began his career in 1978. This spicy guy has been instrumental in opening over 100 restaurants. And he's buying you a drink. Eaton's Beach Sandbar & Grill, where there's little or no waiting these days. Come see what started out as Jay Eaton's dream almost 90 years ago. It's more awesome than ever. If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Page. I'm your host, Tom Schmitz. Let's go right out to the phone lines and talk to victorious coach Stephen Fields of the North Marion Colts last night. Huge win over District 5A5 rival Dunellen. Dunellen come in 3-0 in the district. North Marion comes in 2-1 in the district. If North Marion loses this football game, pretty much the playoff hopes of North Marion would be gone for the first time in 15 years. But, Coach, playoffs still alive and well at North Marion. Thanks for joining us.
I appreciate you having me.
Coach, last night, James Allen, you said a statement right away when you pitched the ball to James Allen. Everybody thinks James Allen's going to run. He just stands up and throws a strike to Freddie Swain for a touchdown. I didn't know James Allen could throw the ball that well. Is that something you'd worked on, and just because you had seen he could throw the ball that well, or how's a play like that come about?
Yeah, we worked on it in practice. You know, he has a really, really good arm. Something that was kind of looked at down the road in special situations. But he can throw the ball. I mean, he can throw the ball on the rope 60, 70 yards.
Freddie Swain last night, he caught a touchdown, long for touchdown, ran a fake punt for a touchdown, ran a punt reception down for a touchdown. He was the HDG Hotels player of the game. This kid's got Alabama, Florida, all kind of people knocking on his door. How good a kid is this guy?
I mean, he's not only a good player on the field, he's a better kid off the field. He just turned 16 years old. He's literally still a kid, and he's growing. The mentality that he has, he just wants to get better every day, and he works hard. So I'm more proud of him off the field and how he handles himself, and than even on the field, tactics.
How important was this win last night against Dunellen for your Colt team this year?
It was good. I think our numbers our last three games are 147 and 24. Scored 147 and gave up 24 points in the last three games, and 3 running clocks in the last 3 games starting at the third quarter. So I think the team's really starting to gel and come together. You take away the 4 points from Sewanee and the big lead we had at them, and the red zone issues we had versus Bowles, and we're undefeated right now, but. Like I always tell my team, you have to fall before you can learn how to get back up and become successful. And we just kind of kept to the grindstone and kept grinding, and, the results are coming in.
Let's talk about this defense of yours. Last night with 7 sacks. It seemed like, and I said this numerous times on the radio broadcast last night, that your guys were getting penetration that were almost getting to the handoff in the backfield. Your front 5 guys, your front 4 or 5, DeMonte Jackson, Alex Williams, Antoine Richardson, Sherman James, and Elijah Vukovic, it almost were like they were in the Dunellen backfield as players for Dunellen in the backfield.
Yeah, Coach Pilcher does a great job with the defense, but we work hard. We practice fast, we practice hard, and it kind of shows up on game day. We try to take it to the next level. Monday through Thursday. So then on Friday, we can have fun. We put the work in through the week, and that's kind of what's showing on Friday night.
You held the Tigers to just 105 yards, minus 30. Rushing. This is a team that had just shy of 400 yards the week before. They had come from a running clock game where they were winning big. That's huge to me, but the 1 minute, I think this game, you won this football game in a 1 minute stretch, and I'll see if you agree with me. Dunellen had the ball first and goal inside the 1 yard line. 4 plays later, you took over on downs at the 3 yard line of your 3-yard line, and 40.3 seconds later, you had 43 seconds left on the clock. 40.3 seconds later, you had marched 97 yards and scored a touchdown. I think the game was over in that 1 minute right before the half.
Yeah, I mean, actually it was 98 yards. We did it in, we did it in 6-7 plays, which was pretty amazing. I was very, very proud of the kids. I think that was probably one of the longest drives, North Marion's had in that time frame, probably in school history, So hats goes off to the offensive players and the assistant coaches. They did a great job preparing these kids, getting them ready. But, to be honest with you, our mindset was we won that game when we walked up that hill before the game started. I mean, we were not leaving that field without a victory, and that's our mindset right now.
Let's talk about the different way that you came on the field last night. It was very Miami-esque. We even said on the radio that reminds us of the Canes of the late 80s. You had the Ghost Riders Motorcycle Club there to bring the guys out through that. You had the music blaring. You had the smoke on the field as the players came on the field. You've gave it a little more up-tempo attitude there at North Marion.
Well, we talk to the kids and it's what they want. The Ghost Riders Motorcycle Group, man, they're unbelievable. They're a part of the community. They've helped us with fundraising ideas and so forth. So we feel it's important to have them involved. It's just the total community, family feel. That's what we're trying to do. Whatever makes the kids happy, brings the community together. That's all that matters.
Now, be honest. I'm an old football guy. You've been around this game a long, long time. It was a little gamesmanship, you down on the baseball field warming up so Denellen couldn't woof at you and get a little fired up, and then playing Yanni, or I don't know what you were playing, but that elevator music you were playing, that was pretty good gamesmanship to make Denellen have to find an inner force to get fired up. You weren't going to allow him to do it by putting your team out there in front of him in pregame warm-ups. I thought that was pretty good gamesmanship.
Yeah, hey, I mean, music is music, and as long as we had a little bit of music for the crowd, that's all that matters.
Coach Stephen Fields, you got next week. You got you're off, and then the following week it's homecoming, and you have Santa Fe coming in. Do you see anything from Santa Fe that it gives you any concern at all right now?
Every single football team we face, we look at them as the best possible football team we could face at that moment. And we know they're going to be well coached. We know they're going to be coming full speed. We know they're going to be coming, coming to knock us off. So we're going to be prepared. We're going to have a very hard week to practice, and we're going to do what we need to do to become successful.
Coach, last question. I know that you're now you have the head-to-head over Denellen. You're looking pretty good for the playoffs. I said last night on the radio, I really like the makeup of this North Marion team. I really like how you can score from so many different avenues. But the one weakness I see, and this could be a problem in the playoffs, is the kicking game. Are you trying to address the kicking game? Is there a soccer player you can go get, or because that 1 point can make a difference in the playoffs?
It's definitely a situation that we're trying to handle and take care of, but we know the good Lord's not going to drop us one from heaven, so we're trying to do different things to make it happen, to do or do different stuff, but we'll put some.
Well, Coach, I wish you all the luck. And, when I'm not on the radio, when I have to be objective on the radio, but when I'm not on the radio, you know that I pump Northside pride as much as possible. So congratulations to you with a big win last night. And, the folks of Spar, Anthony, Citra, Reddick, all that area up there where I live, we're proud to have you there as a coach and what you're doing for the football program. Thanks for all you do for high school kids in that area.
I appreciate it. I want to wish the senior coach good luck tonight in their big game.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Coach Stephen Fields of the victorious North Marion Colts. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Chris Bosch in the news. not really having nice things to say about LeBron. I'll tell you what he said next, right here on Saturday Sports Page, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local on The Source.
Stay with us and sleep better at the Sleep Inn and Suites of Ocala Bellevue, located next door to Don Garlett's Museum and a few minutes from Florida Horse Park. Our award-winning, newly refreshed Sleep Inn and Suites offers comfy, clean rooms, free fast Wi-Fi, and service with a smile. Start your day with a deluxe hot breakfast and unwind in our heated outdoor pool. Our convenient 24-hour fitness and business centers allow you to stay on track whether you're here to play or to work. That's Sleep Inn and Suites Ocala Bellevue, proud sponsor of Marion County High School football.
Hi, this is Randy Briggs of the Briggs Law Firm. My son Bo and I practice exclusively in the representation of accident victims. And we've been asked many times why we would support and sponsor the program Ask the Cops with Sheriff Blair and Chief Graham, who are in the world of criminal law enforcement. Well, these legal rights actually overlap. In civil law enforcement, we're in the business of recovering for victims of accidents that which has been taken away from them and holding the responsible party accountable. Both civil law and criminal law share those common goals. So we're all in the field of law enforcement, and for that reason, we're proud to sponsor Ask the Cops on the Voice of Ocala with Buddy Martin. So if your family or a friend needs help in an accident situation, feel free to contact us at our website, www.thebriggs Law Firm. We're located in the Ocala Historic District.
The Marion County Seminole Club, Inc., a proud sponsor of FSU football here on The Source. For more information, contact the Marion County Seminole Club at marionseminoles.org or email them at marionseminoleclub@gmail.com.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price fixed rate allowance.
Fumble! I was so busy making my fantasy football picks that I forgot to stock up on inventory, and now I need cars fast, so I'm calling for an inventory blitz. Chris Spears here from Prestige Auto Sales. This month, bring me in your old car, and you could score the nicer, newer ride you've been fantasizing about for just $10 down.
Sack your old car.
And start driving the nicer, newer car of your dreams for just $10 down. Don't get fouled by past credit problems.
Our For the People credit approval process is the game changer you've been waiting for.
We huddle up the banks and lenders to help you get approved and back in the game. So stop driving a car you hate.
Punt it and drive a nicer, newer car for just $10 down today.
I'm throwing in a Hail Mary to make my month, and I need your help. Trade in your old car, and you could drive for just $10 down. But don't wait till the clock runs out. This deal is over when my inventory is full. I'm Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit us at Prestige Auto Sales or call 694-1234. Yes, 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Hello, everybody. This is Terry Bradshaw reminding you to listen to Buddy Martin's Sports Page weekdays at 5 p.m. right here on The Source.
WOCA.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Page. I'm your host, Tom Schmitz. Real quick with a baseball update. The New York Yankees, all you Yankee fans living in our area, have signed Brian Cashman, the GM, to a new 3-year deal. Following one of their most disappointing seasons since he became the GM. Cashman has been the GM since 1998. When the Yankees won the World Series in his first season, he has built 3 more championship teams, most recently 2009. Cashman said during a conference call, according to the story on Yahoo.com, he wants to find a way to get our fan base back to enjoy October sooner rather than later. Cashman's been in his job longer than any other GM in baseball except San Francisco's Brian Saban and Oakland's Billy Beane. The Yankees have missed the postseason the last 2 seasons, the first time they've done that since 1992-93. So Brian Cashman re-signs with the New York Yankees as the general manager. And I don't know if it's a good move or a bad move. He's been very successful, so just because he's had 2 bad seasons in a row, I don't know if that's worthy of getting rid of him. Hey, if you like playoff baseball, last night was a great game. Alex Gordon stepped to the plate in the 10th inning of a tie game and won the game to put Kansas City in front. Then a 2-run shot followed, and they won the game 8-6 in the opener of the AL Championship game against the Baltimore Orioles. And what I find great about this is Baltimore, if they win this series and go to the World Series, this will be the first time the Orioles have represented the American League in the World Series since 1983. 31 years. But if the Royals win this series and go to the World Series, it'll be the first time they've represented the AL in the World Series since 1985. 29 years. So either team going is going to be a great story because of the last time they were there. Cal Ripken was still a young man the last time the Orioles went to the World Series. The last time the Royals went, Doug Dettinger, I think that's how you say his name, Deckinger, blew a call in Game 6 at first base where the Royal player was a good step and a half, 2 steps out, and he called him safe. The Royals won that game, went to Game 7, and defeated the St. Louis Cardinals in a series the Cardinals had won, but the umpire blew a call. Of course, over in the National League, you got the Giants and the Cardinals. Ho-hum, that seems like every other year that's who's in the National League Championship Series. But would it not be spectacular if we once again had a repeat of the 1985 World Series, Kansas City, St. Louis, the I-40 World Series? Maybe St. Louis could, be able to pull this one out without a umpire trying to interject who they think should win or who they think shouldn't win. And I'm not saying the umpire, he just blew a call. And the man suffered death threats and everything. It was not good for that young man. Let me give you a quick rundown of the college scoreboard. Of course, it started Thursday night with a Florida team, University of Central Florida, coming back in overtime to beat BYU. Washington State last night gets doubled up by Stanford. Number 25 Stanford beats Washington State 34-17. And then today on the docket, you got Florida State at Syracuse. That's a noon kickoff on ESPN. You got Georgia at Missouri. That's also a noon kickoff on CBS. CBS doubling up today on the SEC. The Red River Shootout on ABC. Texas at number 11, Oklahoma State versus number 11 to Oklahoma State. Then you got at 12:30 on ESPN3 and ESPN Game Plan, Duke at Georgia Tech. Then you got on NBC, Notre Dame welcomes in North Carolina, number 6 Notre Dame. Then at 3:30 on ABC, Michigan at Purdue. 3:30 on Fox, Oregon, number 12 in the country, at number 18 UCLA. Then the 3:30 game on CBS, Auburn, number 2 in the country, at number 3 Mississippi State. 3:30 on ABC, you got number 9 TCU at number 5 Baylor. Then at 4 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, you got number 16 Oklahoma State at Kansas. The 6 o'clock ESPN game is Alabama at Arkansas. The 7 o'clock game on ESPNU is number 19 East Carolina at South Florida. The 9 o'clock game on ESPN, number 3 Mississippi at number 14 Texas A&M. And then your late game on ESPN2 at 10:30, the University of Southern California Trojans at Arizona, number 10 Arizona. So that's your breakdown of the college schedule today. Are you kidding me? Chris Bosh has come out and told Kevin Love, don't expect to be a superstar. once you joined the Cavaliers, because I was a superstar in Toronto, we thought that there were three of us, me, Dwayne, and LeBron, when we got to Miami, and we found out there was one superstar and two guys that had to figure out when to get theirs. Are you kidding me? Let me tell you something, Chris Bosh. If you'd have actually got yours when the ball was given to you, if you'd have made all those big three-pointers you took, if you'd have actually been posted up down on the low block and been powerful enough to move people off, the best facilitator in the game would have made sure to get you the basketball. LeBron James is not a ball hog that's trying to score every chance he gets the ball. If you'd have put yourself in a position to score, Chris Bosh, all the time, LeBron would have fed you the rock. Are you kidding me? Chris Bosh sounds like a bunch of sour grapes down at the greatest player in the game decided to go somewhere else. Stop it. Kidding me? I'd like to thank my guest, Buddy Martin, and Coach Stephen Fields of the North Marion Colts for joining me today. For all the folks that work here at WOCA, I'm Tom Schmitz saying, have a great weekend, everybody.
My name is Bo Briggs. I'm a sixth-generation Ocala, and I practice law with my father at the Briggs Law Firm. Over the years, we've seen many changes to Ocala and many changes in our profession. What has not changed is our commitment to our clients. You will speak with and get to know your attorney. That will never change. A lawyer will personally handle your case, not a paralegal. So if you've been injured in an accident and would appreciate personal attention, you can reach us at 671-4600 or learn more at thebriggslawfirm.com.